Joe's back. Scope. What is up, Bengals fam? It's your boy Mike coming back at you with another Who Daily. I've been taking a little bit of time off just because not a lot of big news going on, and also I gotta pack up. I'm getting ready to move, so we've been packing and doing some work. But whatever, that's none of your business. I wanted to share with you guys a little mini story, a little mini off-season story that's really positive, really gets me going, really gets you smiling if you're a Bengals fan. Yesterday, you saw a little media drop of Joe Burrow working out, where he was kind of hitting the gym, working out, nothing crazy. I think it was released by the gym that he works out at, and really got a lot of action. People loved it on social media. Everybody loves Joe Burrow, man. So, but then today I get up and I'm on the West Coast. So what do I see but a video of Joe Burrow walking to the practice field for the first day of OTAs, where the veterans showed up. Everybody showed up. This is such a huge cultural shift. This is such a big thing for the Bengals. If you've followed the Bengals for a long time, you know that there's been off-season drama where, will the veterans show up? Is the quarterback going to show up on time for OTAs? Or are they going to get their contracts signed? Or all this stuff. None of that stuff is even being talked about this off-season, which is a really, really good thing. But what's super encouraging is that this is way ahead of schedule for Joe Burrow, and I think the team and Joe wanted to show that, not just to his teammates, but also to the fans, and just to put the rest of the league on notice. Hey, you're not gonna keep me down. You're not gonna knock me down and then keep me down. I'm gonna keep getting back up and keep fighting. That's exactly the kind of mentality Joe Burrow brings to this team, and exactly the kind of mentality they needed. And you saw all kinds of positive stuff coming out today. First, watching the videos of Joe throwing, you get this your first look of Joe throwing to Jamar Chase. You get him throwing to T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. You also saw, I think, Joe Mixon lining up a little bit at wide receiver, which is something I've been asking for a long time. But Joe's throwing motion, and he said it himself, he feels absolutely 100% ready to go from as far as throwing off of a normal platform, normal drops, getting the ball out on time. He says he's capable of doing that right now. He says he can do everything in his game that he needs to do as far as throwing on time and on platform. Next, what he's got to do, and he says his knees at about 85%. So that means the final 15% for him is going to be just getting comfortable, moving around in the pocket, and not having to think about his knee at all. Getting off platform and throwing the ball from weird angles, throwing the ball off of weird foot positions and things like that. Stuff that I think, given that that it's just it's May right now, and we've got another three months until the season starts. So I think in 3 months Joe's going to, barring any tweaks or setbacks of that knee, I think Joe is going to be 100% ready to go, no limitations to start the season off. In fact, there was even some talk of that Joe had originally ruled out playing in the preseason, and I'm sure that most people agreed with that. I mean, even his doctors at the time were saying you shouldn't push it and try to get back for the preseason. I'm sure Zach Taylor would prefer that, but Joe Burrow, because he's that dude, just today said, if I need to go a little bit in the preseason, I feel like I can do that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to give you a reason to watch all the preseason games, right? To see if he jumps in there for a series just to get a little bit of game action going. The next big hurdle for him is obviously going to be taking hits, which he's not going to do any of, more than likely, until this preseason, if he plays in the preseason. And if he does, I'm sure that he's going to have a really strong mandate from the coaching staff to not take any hits, that we would rather you throw an interception or just throw the ball onto the ground than to take a hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume they're not gonna risk that kind of thing. There might be some really controlled type stuff for him to just get the feel of taking hits again. But look, from what I could see in the video, right, there's no tentativeness planting that front foot. He looks like He's got really good foot motion. If you watch his feet, what a quarterback needs to do in the pocket when he gets to the back of his drop, what he needs to be able to do is keep his feet light, and that's taking small little steps. It allows you to make those micro adjustments in the pocket, which Joe's so good at, which opens up your throwing lanes just a little bit. It even he can even fool the defensive backs a little bit if they've got their eyes in the backfield and they see you taking those little steps. You've seen Joe Burrow do this just last year during the games, where he would even step up, take a couple big steps up into the pocket and look like he's about to bring the ball down to run, only to just pull it up and throw it at the last second. The reason he does that is because the entire time he's looking downfield, the entire time he's stepping up in the pocket, he's looking downfield, and if he sees a defensive back break coverage because he's stepping up in the pocket, as long as he's still behind the line of scrimmage, he's going to let it go and hit that. He'd much rather throw that ball and get the chunk play than to run and get 5 or 6 yards, right? So Joe Burrow's looking really good. This is a huge encouraging sign, because here's what it is, man. Joe Burrow said to his team, look, I got my knee inverted last year, gruesome injury, really bad stuff, and even I, the franchise quarterback with that kind of injury, am coming back out onto this field for the first day of OTAs. The rest of you have no excuses, none. And you know what? None of them made excuses. Everyone showed up. The entire team. I don't remember the last time that the entire team showed up for the first day of OTAs. There's usually people, sitting out. There's usually people taking, veterans taking the time off because they already know the system. They don't need to do it, or say they don't need to do it. Not this year. Joe Burrow was there. That means you're there. That's the kind of leadership the team needs, and the kind that they finally have. And this is a huge encouraging sign, especially because you got guys like Trey Hendrickson today, who came out and said, after in his interview after practice, said, you know what, it feels like I've already been here a year. I feel like I already know these guys and I'm already a part of this squad. That means they're building a kind of culture that allows outside talent to be able to come in and as long as they have the same, the right mindset, allows them to assimilate to the team culture right off the bat. That's a huge deal. That allows them to be, that's a proof of concept of the system and of the coaching staff, so that they can go to the front office and say, look, we can bring in free agents that with this right kind of mindset, and they can pick up this system and become part of the team really, really fast. I'm not saying that this means that Trey Hendrickson's going to have another 20-sack season. I'm just saying that if he doesn't play well, it's not because he isn't bought in. You know what I mean? And that's going to be the same for the rest of these players. I think that they have their core set of players in the room, in the building, who have bought into this, this system. And Zach Taylor today said that this team is on a mission. And for the first time in a while of a Bengals coach saying something like that, I believe him. And it's not because of Zach Taylor, it's because of Joe Burrow. And you should believe him too. But I'm going to leave it at that. Short video today. Just wanted to hit you guys with some positivity, some optimism. We got Joey B back out on the field, throwing passes to Jamar Chase. Huge excitement in the Nasty Natty. I'm loving it. But that's going to do it for today. I've been Mike. This has been Who Daily. See ya.